Hey everyone, Rushlock here with a news update for EVE Online. They've recently put out EVE Online Director's Letter. This came out a few days ago. This is my first chance to sit down with it and go over it with you guys off air with a recorded system. It's a pretty lengthy post. I'm going to try and truncate it down and simplify it as much as possible to save you some time. I, of course, will link the post in the video description down below in case you want to read it at your own leisure. Later on, you can parse the information yourself. So, 2024 and beyond, a Director's Letter starts off with an image showing their deliverables for 2023, quarter by quarter, showing that direct enlistment finally showed up a little bit behind schedule, but they got delivered. Shadow War was the storyline narrative at the beginning of the year. The New Year celebration and the Chinese localization. EVE Excel went into beta. I believe this one is it being delivered on this side in the quarter 2, I'm not sure. 20 Years in Space celebration, and of course the Viridian expansion in the summertime. This was in June of last year. And of course, 20th FanFest, or 20th year of FanFest, big event for quarter 3, Alliance tournaments, and then the Epiphany storyline as well. Quarter 4 had the Havoc expansion, Crimson Harvest, Winter Nexus, and the first look at Vanguard. Vanguard, their first-person shooter, currently in early alpha development as it continues on through this upcoming year. But they kind of wanted to take a moment to show you what they've done in the past year and kind of use that as a template for what they plan to do in the following year. There's going to be a lot of words. You can read them at your own discretion. But basically, they're laying out the sort of here's what to expect in 2024. If it isn't on this document, in this image, you shouldn't expect it. But you should also understand that other things can be included on top of this. This is just them laying out what is, is as certain as anything in life can be. Quarter 1 of 2024, our current year, we're going to see EVE Vanguard playtests happening each month, January, February, and March. We've already got the dates for the January one here, starting out, I believe, 2 days from the time of making this video. The Havoc expansion will get an update. We have no details about that update yet, only that it'll happen sometime in February or March, the contents of which, again, we are completely unaware of what that'll include. It could be storyline narrative driven, leading into the summer expansion. It could be fleshing out or polish of features that launched with Havoc. We simply won't know until we get there. And of course, quarter 2, we'll see the summer expansion. No name yet, no details yet. However, this post does go into detail that they're looking at Nullsec for expansions in this year of 2024. The details of which, obviously vague and ambiguous, and it's going to be that way until they come out. Because we're EVE players and we'll try to solve puzzles before they actually launch in the game if we're given too many details early on. But the big takeaway quote from the article was basically they want to make it worth undocking and defending null or solve space again. Will they be successful in that? We'll have to wait and see. Their stated intention is to make it more lucrative. That doesn't necessarily mean it'll be lucrative enough. That'll be something that players will bicker about, I'm sure. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. More Vanguard playtesting, of course, going on throughout the entire year. 21 years of EVE celebration for Capsuleer Day. So the summer expansion is the big deal for quarter 2. The Havoc update, the big deal for quarter 1. Quarter 3 is a barren wasteland. Nothing is going to happen in quarter 3. We're going to have the same playtest going on throughout the entire year, so this is not newsworthy or noteworthy. The Alliance tournament, of course, happening is of note and of interest, but it isn't like content or development, right? And you have to be fair with this because they also have another expansion to come out with. And we know traditionally, Ellipsis CCP being in Iceland, we were talking about this on stream the other day, that you have to remember they take a lot of vacation time in the summertime, which isn't a negative thing, right? Like, a lot of us as American consumers will see oh my God, how are they, gone for half the year? And it's not really that extreme. It's that way in comparison because a lot of us are used to seeing 2 weeks off. You get 1 week here, 1 week there, and that's all you see for the entire year. They're going to shut down for somewhere between 2 and 4 to 6 weeks as staff cycle through their vacation time here in the summertime, and the rest of the time is going to be developing into the winter expansion. After the winter expansion, we'll have, of course, more Vanguard playtest, the same Harvest and Winter Nexus events in their usual locations. But you have quarter 2 and quarter 4. Sorry, I'm still fighting this cough. Quarter 2, quarter 4 with the expansions. Quarter 1 having an update for Havoc, I think, is actually pretty impressive. But quarter 3 is going to be definitely absolutely quiet. You shouldn't really expect too much content there. Maybe they'll squeak in an event. I'm saying that as a possibility. I cannot hammer enough. If you don't see it on this sheet, it isn't going to happen. Well, you shouldn't expect it to happen. Things could happen on top of that. Also, keep in mind they're going to do storyline narrative introductions, probably here leading into this expansion, probably somewhere in here leading this expansion, but they're not going to notate it in an early document, right? Like we go back to last year, and you see Shadow War leading into things, you see Epiphany leading into things. They're not going to document that kind of stuff here in advance. So something like that is likely to be in those Q1 and Q3 slots, but we'll have to wait and see what develops out of it. Again, mentioning that the big news item for expansion developments in 2024 is going to focus on Nullsec changes. Let me see if it's in this part here. I don't believe it is. It's a lot of word salad, guys. You have to dig through a lot of word salad to get to anything of use or value. Here they reiterate on the idea of they want to really make the corporation program or project system very, very robust, very, very in-depth, to the point of even allowing corporations to make public-facing corporation projects so that independent or third-party entities and or players, individuals, can contribute to a corporation project that is publicly facing. So imagine being able to outsource certain resource gathering, materials, or even this could be the new bounty system. We already see in the corporation projects internally go do damage or defeats, players of a certain organization or whatnot. Imagine this goes into the way of what if you can put a public-facing corporation project up where you're offering cash for kills on a certain faction. Of course, people will scam it and still just use alts to kill their alts to get paid, but we'll see how that develops over time. And then another roadmap here, this one for Vanguard. This one kind of reiterates that this game is very much still in early development. It will not launch in 2024, is my assessment. This is not CCP announcing this. This is me looking at the information we have available to us, and there's just no way. Well, I guess they've kind of framed it as a module, right? They're never going to try and launch this as a standalone product that you should be purchasing separately, right? It's going to be rolled into EVE Online as a module, included in your Omega status, presumably. And starting out, we've got the test this month. You can see bug fixes and balances itemized in every single box here. So you want to reduce, right? You want to go ahead and just ignore those words. They mean nothing. Bug fixing and balancing is not relevant news. So what's relevant here? Launcher and installation fixes. Server support for 2 new regions, which are Asia Pacific and South American regions, will be added to the player base for Vanguard playtesting. And then introducing something that is interesting, tiered participation rewards. We're all going to get a chuckle at participation rewards. Basically, it's log in, have a pulse, be Omega during this time frame, interact with Vanguard in some very light way, and they're going to give you EVE ship skins for doing so. Hopefully, they're unique. Hopefully, they are something you can only get from having done this, and they're not available in any other way. But we'll have to wait and see. And then there is a performance-based reward system for the leaderboard, which will reward Plex. In what scope and scale, we won't know until it's out. We can't even say that the one from one playtest session to the next will be the exact same payouts, but they're probably looking to see, like, let's introduce it here, see how it performs, and then move on to the next one after some feedback. Bug fixing, balancing, so nothing. It'll just be more testing and more opportunity to play and interact with it. Same thing in March, though they will introduce mining prototype. I have no idea what that is. I've heard there's mining in Vanguard. You have to gather materials to craft your gear. How that's going to play out, we'll find out in March, I suppose. Additional contracts, I presume, means objectives to pursue. Suppression generation through Vanguard activities. So we know that with the introduction of Havoc with pirate-themed faction warfare interaction type of things, we have suppression and corruption, and now they're saying you're going to be suppression generation through Vanguard activities. So this could be a way where your gameplay within Vanguard is going to directly, hopefully, impact the New Eden landscape itself. Of course, more reward, like bug fixings, nothing in April or May. Noteworthy, in June they plan to add a new map, add a weapon modification system, session persistence and fittings, meaning I believe currently and previously, and up through May, you have to reload your kit, I'm guessing, for your loadout, for your gear and equipment. Maybe session persistence is going to allow you to not have to do that. I'm not sure how that's playing out. Additional activities and objectives is a bit vague and ambiguous, but I'm guessing it's basically showcasing other features that they haven't been able to talk about it yet. Bug fixes, balancing, and more is all ethereal, means nothing. The same reward system we're going to be talking about the whole year. Again, it's kind of just filling space, right? Like, this is just space filler. The important parts up here that are just notating that there are going to be testing going on each month between now and June. They do mention it as a minor feature update for the mining and the additional contracts and the suppression generation in March, but they mention that June is going to be a major feature update. So whatever, new map is cool, and weapon modification is certainly a certain feature, a specific feature that's going to be prominently searched for. We'll have to wait and see what this other stuff is to warrant it, but it sounds like the greater weight of new things to do in the game itself will come out in June of this year. But that's the overall look at Vanguard. Again, there's a lot of word salad if you want to dig into the details. We'll have this linked in the description down below. But yeah, so somebody brought up a good point in the stream chat the other day, and it got brought up again during, I think, a partner program meeting with CCP nerds on the community team. Like, people in Twitch chat have been asking me, like, but what about the other events? Like, why do we have 2 events at the end of the year and no other event anywhere else? Like, it's very awkward for pacing, right? Well, these are going to keep us busy while holidays are happening, of course. Part of it, to my understanding, is in order for them, being CCP, to maintain this dual expansion rotation, they don't have a lot of extra developer time to dedicate to maintain other events. And the most common response I get to that is like, but they just have to flip a switch, right? Like, these are the same prepackaged events every year. You know, they do it for Crimson Harvest and Winter Nexus. Why are they not doing it for other events that are also evergreen? Might have been the term used at one point for, like, they're already done, already developed and already made. Why can't they just turn them on? It is a bit more involved, other than just, you know, one line of code or flipping a switch physically in the office. And people who don't work inside game development don't understand it, aren't going to understand it, and I might be spitting in the wind trying to explain it, but the basic concept is it's more involved in that. They have the developer capacity to get these 2 off the ground at this time of the year. You are correct if you feel like, well, this is awkward pacing to jam 2 events at the end of the year and have nothing else to look at for the remainder of the year. Capsuleer Day is a bit oversold in my opinion. This is not a... to me, I view Capsuleer Day as a login event. You know, you can debate whether that's fair or not. That's entirely up to you. But that's how I view Capsuleer Day. It's just a login reward schedule. Beyond that, there's like not content or not gameplay that I'm interested in or concerned about. Maybe it's different for you. You guys can put your opinions in the comments down below. But this video is already getting pretty long, and I wanted to keep it as short as possible to save you guys the word salad. But the words are here if you want to read them. Feel free to do so. Maybe you want to take something out of the post here and put it in the comment section and discuss it in more detail. But as always, hit the like button, leave those comments, and we'll see you in the next one.